guys, welcome back to another GJ video. Today we're having a quick look at the Thermaltake Core X9 case. So this is a relatively new case. I've been speaking to Thermaltake about this, and apparently this is just about out of stock. Well, I think it is out of stock everywhere in Australia at the moment. So at the moment it is a very popular case, and we'll sort of go through soon as to why it is so popular. This is one we've had for a little while. We didn't have time to do a video before customizing it. We've done a little bit of customizing, spent about a day and a half sort of blinging it up for a bit of a display rig. So it actually doesn't come orange, and it doesn't come with this white bit of plexi inside. So the plan is with this one is just to go over some of the features, some of the things we liked, some of the things we didn't like. And then I am actually receiving another one of these cases for a different build. So when I receive that one, I'll do more of a review on the stock case to show you sort of how it comes, whereas this one is sort of just an overview of what we've done and some of the features we liked and we didn't like. So this comes in a three-part series. I think there's an X2, there's a small one, this huge one which takes your EATX, and there's one in between. So this is the largest of them all. Some review sites are saying it's too large, we don't like it, but I guess in a stage where it comes to extreme systems where you want to put 4 or 3 radiators in, I think you're going to need to have the largest size case possible. Not many people buy a case labs or review a case labs and say, oh, it's too large, I don't like it. So with this one, you are looking at case lab size here. It is huge. You can fit quite a few radiators on. We'll look into that a little bit later on. But probably the best thing about this one is the price tag. I think you can get this for about $200 in Australia. I think the exact price is $209. And for a case this size, that is extremely good value. Now you're probably wondering why. Well, they must have skipped out on somewhere. So far, I can't really find too many faults with it. It's not like they've used really cheap components. Yes, they don't use brushed aluminium here. It's not like a real elegant case. They do have a lot of mesh on the front, but I guess when you're wanting an extreme water-cooled or air-cooled case, you're going to probably want mesh in areas rather than just a brushed aluminium panel and just have the air sucking in from the side. So it really does take the whole new high airflow to a new level. I know Cooler Master have released a half series high airflow. This really takes it to a new level. There's just so much airflow. There's not so much on this side panel because you want to be able to see through, but then on the left side you've got all vents, the top you've got all vents, and on the front you've just got all mesh as well. So we'll have a little bit look into that later on. You've also got the removable side panels that this one can go on that side and the left one can go on this side. So maybe for some reason you want to be able to see on the left side rather than this side. So what we'll do now is we'll get a closer look on each side, look inside it, and have a look at some of the work that I've done to it. Alright, so moving on to the front, you can see you got the full mesh design. Now this does have a mesh filter behind that, which is really good. And what you can see 1, 2, 3 5¼ or CD-ROM bays. Probably not many people use them for CD-ROM bays anymore, but I like it how they've given you 3. This means you can put a nice fan controller on it. Some of the more larger ones that are touchscreen, things like that, it just gives you some more options there. You got the TT logo there, which is pretty standard on these cases, and behind here I've actually removed it with sort of the frame to hold the 5¼ bays, but it actually duplicates into each one can do a single 3.5-inch hard drive, so mechanical drive, or each one can do 2 SSDs. So you could fit a total of 6 SSDs on the inside on the frame support for this. So that's pretty sweet that you can do that. Moving on to the top, you can just slightly see the all the fan holes for the radiators you put up here, all the fans. But I really do like it how it has the top cover. So with most cases you sort of screw all your fans and your radiators onto the top of the case. This one has a nice cover that goes over. I'll just take it off. So it does have this nice cover, and it's not really flimsy. It's nice and sturdy. I am noticing that the orange doesn't seem to be picking up right on the camera. It is a much darker orange to what it's actually what it's actually coming up as. It's pretty much spot on the exact Thermaltake color. So if you look at the Thermaltake logo, it is pretty much exactly that orange. Alright, so what we might do is we might get a closer look up top. Alright, so I really like how they've worked out the radiator and fan system in this. It's not simply just the whole lot is covered and you just stick your radiators sort of anywhere inside the case. You can actually remove the, you can actually, see if I can undo this, you can actually remove these mounts here. I'm not going to be able to remove this because it's got cables on, but these can actually pop up, if I can actually get that out. No, this one slides out, yeah, so they slide out and up. I may be able to do the to do this one if I can undo it. No, I can't undo it. So yeah, so these slide out and then up and then out and then up, and you can reverse them to slide out the other way. So what you can do is that you can install your fans, install your radiator, work out where you want it to go, and then just drop it down in here. So this also, you'll notice it's just all slits. I really like it when they just give you the slits. So this is a 480 radiator. It's quite large, but I've got room to slide this a little bit towards this way and slide it a little bit towards towards the back. So this is a 480. So these are 4 120s. You can do three 140s, and there's also, you can do 200. Yeah, so to do 120s, 140s, and 200s. I'm pretty sure you'd probably fit two 200s on there as well. So you can fit two up the top, so two full-size radiators at the top, or you can just replace them with fans. So we've sort of alternated. I didn't want to have a radiator on this side as well, so to sort of obstruct the view of the components inside. So on the right side, with this side panel here, it is just fully vented, which I do like. Alright, so this one comes off just like the other ones. Bear in mind, if you're wondering what this little part is here, if you notice on the left side with your I/O, your power, your reset, your headphones and USB, that is actually reversible. You can actually take that off and put it on this side. So that is a really neat little feature where you can put your power reset buttons on any side of the case. Alright, so this one comes off, and now this one can go on the other side if you like. And they also come with these magnetic dust filters, which is nice as well. So it comes with two of those on that side panel, and the tops also came with them as well. Probably not as important having them on the top, because if you're blowing your air out up through the top, you probably don't need the dust filters as much as if they're on an intake side of the case. Alright, so that's with that one off there. Probably not too much to talk about. If you actually notice, the bottom of the case is pretty much the same on each side. It is replicated. You've got your two power supply mounts on each side, and then you've got the same 3 hard drive caddy on this side as to that side on the left side. So there's not really too much to talk about on this side. I'll probably focus more on the other side. I do have 2 power supplies fitted. I've just done this just for sort of display purposes to show people you can fit 2 power supplies in the system with ease without having to sort of go to crazy lengths on modifying the system. And just one more thing while we're on this angle, you can actually pop off the front panel like most Thermaltake cases. I probably won't do it now. It was a little bit tricky, but you can. There is a little bit of a handle underneath, but you can pull it off. There's not really much you can get to. It's just really for the fan support and the radiator support. You can fit 2 200s, and you've got room to fit a. It looks like you can fit another 360 mil as well. So when I do review the stock case later on, I will go into more of the specifics of all the radiator supports. It will make it easier on the stock case, because I kind of removed a few things in this case that I didn't need. Okay, so moving around to the back, it's probably quite of an unfamiliar layout for most people. There's not many 2 cases that sort of have your motherboard sit down flat. There's a few sort of MATX Mini ITX systems, but to have a full-size system that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so this will fit most of your HPTX boards. It probably won't fit your full server boards that need 10 slots, but I'll just grab a board. So this is a board that I have if we can get it in. So this one here, so this board will fit. So this has your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this board starts at, this slot starts at the very first one. So this board will fit. It'll pretty much go straight to the edge, but this isn't your sort of your largest board you can get. You can get full-size server boards that are slightly longer. Probably the need for that probably isn't necessary. There's not many cases that will support that, but to be able to fit that board I just showed you is pretty sweet. So you've got your I/O panel here. You've got, once again, you've got these awesome little slots here to slide your fans up and down. So you could also probably nearly fit a 240 radiator. It probably wouldn't fit a 240, but you can fit a 120 radiator here, and it can take your 140mm fans and your 120, and you can just simply slide them up or down. Maybe you've got something coming off your motherboard and you want to have the fan higher to get it out of the way. You got 2 grommets up here. I guess these probably aren't really needed, but I just thought they probably just thought they'd throw them on just in case. You're probably not going to want to run water cooling outside of the case, but I guess one of the main reasons with these style cases I haven't mentioned yet is that these are stackable. So if you get 2 of the same series, like the X2 or the X9, you can stack these on top of each other, and that's something we'll be looking at doing when we get the second case. I haven't worked out how to do that yet. There are some screws at the top here, so maybe with these grommets here they've thought, well, maybe if you're stacking them you might want to run something outside between the two. I'm not sure, but they've given you the option. And then moving down, you've got your dual power supply support down here, so you got your 1 and your 2, and then this also comes, if you're just using one, which probably most people will be, it does come with sort of a blanking cover to cover up the one you're not using, which also sort of cleans it up and finishes it off. I did manage to take these top screws out of the top just to show you how these rails sort of slide out. So they just simply come up here, and I can't actually pull those out because all the fans are attached, but you can actually just take this straight out and all the fans are attached on it. You obviously can't take it out with it all plugged in, but when I was actually installing the system, it was really handy to be able to install, fit all the fans on the rail. I could even cable manage with zip ties along the rail, and then up to a certain point I could just drop it in and it was just about ready to go. Now finally we'll just cover probably cover the main side, which is the side you're going to see all your gear on, and we'll have a quick look inside as well. I'll just cover on some of the dimensions of the case. I just always like to go over and test that. So you're looking at 640 long. That's to the edge though, so if you want to include the sort of the bit of the slide handle, you're looking at 260 all up for the length. So that is nearly the height of most standard full-size towers, although it probably is higher. The width of it is, you're looking at 380 for the width, and then what haven't I done? The height, or if you go from the ground to from the feet, you're looking at probably 500. So it is a very large case. To have this on your desk, you're going to need a desk that is at least the width of about 700 deep, or else you're not going to be able to get cables in the back and whatnot. Alright, so moving into the side panel, we'll just take this off. So similar setup as the side panel on the other side. This one just has some plexi in it. This one's a little bit flimsier due to plexi, but it's still a nice solid bit of metal. Alright, so what we haven't covered on, it's going to be hard with this system. That's why I want to sort of do a review on the empty case, is with these hard drive cages here. Actually, I can just pull these out because I didn't actually cable these in, because I just had these on display. I do actually really like it how it's quite unique how the drive sits parallel with the length of the case. So instead of slotting in like this, you can actually feed them in this way or this way, so your cables can either run out the front or out the back, depending on which way you rotate that drive. I think that is a nifty idea that they've done that. And then these again can fit your 2 SSDs or 1 hard drive. So you get 2 of these caddies that take 3 drives. So that's 6 mechanical drives or 12 SSDs. And bear in mind, you've also got the 3 up the top that can take your 3 hard drives or another 6 SSDs as well. So that's pretty neat. And then under here, it's kind of hard to see, but down there, Let's see if we can see. You can see how the this whole cage is sort of resting on this little frame here. You can actually pull this off, and it's the same as the second one, and then that becomes your 480 radiator sort of mount. So you take this off, and you can actually mount that in here or on the other side, and that's where your 480 radiator attaches to. Now you only get 2 of those for one side, because for the other side you're going to have your power supply, so they don't give you enough to put two 480mm radiators on both sides, because if they did that you wouldn't have anywhere for your power supply. So they just give you enough to do one side, which I reckon is probably fair enough. And just something to mention while we're on here, that this white bit of acrylic, I've actually added this here. So I actually dropped out the motherboard tray. Actually, the motherboard tray's still there. I just dropped this on top and just put some holes where the grommets go, and there were some holes in here, so I just put some extra motherboard risers to sort of hold up and give it some stability, so you don't actually get the get this white plexi. I just did that to try and clean it up a bit. I could utilize the top surface, and the actual motherboard tray stops to here. So if you did have a full-size board, where does it stop? Here. So yeah, it's going to get the last screw on right to the edge. So you're just going to get the motherboard in. So it is designed for this board, which will make it just fit. Alright, so lastly, I'll just go around with the camera, just freehand, just to give you more of an idea of it inside. So you can see where the that internal hard drive caddy would have bolted on to the sides there, and that can hold your SSD hard drives. You've got your mesh in there. Moving down the bottom, you can sort of see more in there. You can just see how much room you've got. You've got your 2 hard drives. I just sort of thrown all the cables in there, and you do actually have a little bit of room between the 2 hard drive caddies to put some cables if need be. You can actually see I do have a 200mm fan. It actually comes with a pre-installed 200mm fan. In there I've installed the LED light box, which does the LEDs along there, which you can see. And that radiator up there is a 480 radiator, but it's about 60 millimeters deep, so it is a quite large one, and you can see how much room there still is here. So this is a Strix 980, so there is still plenty of room if you had one on this side. But you can see why I left this side free, because if you did have the radiator as well on this side, you've got about ½ an inch gap, so it would have sort of just obstructed a bit of the view, and then I would have had to move this reservoir pump setup sort of somewhere else, so it didn't get hit. And then I've also got your HyperX SSD, which I just sort of painted the same orange to match the build. But yeah, that's pretty much it for just going over this case. I just wanted to show you sort of how it can look once it's done. I know a lot of people review sort of empty cases. You don't actually see how it looks, what you can do to these cases. I didn't really do too much. I don't really do some of my mods so extreme that no one else can ever replicate. I just do the basic things that sort of look good. So just painting the side panels, adding some finishing touches inside, and then I just add some bits of power water cooling inside to finish it off. Alright guys, well that's pretty much it for this video. It's not really a review. I'm just sort of going on, sort of showing you the system, that once it's got some gear in, sort of how it looks. What I liked about the case, there's really not much really not to like about it. Like, it is large, but I guess they've sort of gone for that size, and the reason why they have a few in the series is so if you don't want this size, you can go to the next one down. So I do like that they've done this, and it is sort of really Thermaltake sort of true, unique sort of. Sort of jumped out of the box and gone with something different. They have done sort of pretty unique things in the past, but this is more of your consumer level. You can buy it off the shelf. It's very reasonably priced, yeah, and it won't cost you an arm and a leg. So next time we'll be reviewing the stock case as soon as it arrives, as it is straight out of the box. I'll probably do a comparison between this one, some of the things I did, and some of the things to the how the stock one looks. With that one, I'll be with the new build I'll be doing, I'll probably be putting the board similar to this one. So this is the Asus Z9PE-D8 workstation build. So I'll be aiming to put the Z10PE, which is the updated big brother. It's based on the Socket 2011-3. chipset, so it's slightly the new one. It takes DDR4, and then when I have the two of these, I'll probably be stacking these together with the system. So I've also got some actual Thermaltake water cooling gear coming, because this one I had to use bits out because the Thermaltake gear sort of wasn't really ready yet. So it'll be really good to see how the Thermaltake gear sort of matches up to some of the other larger brands that are around. So yeah, it will be sweet to get that in, see how the reservoirs, all the pumps sort of work, and I'll be doing plenty of videos on those as well. So just want to say thanks to Thermaltake Australia for sending me all this. They'll also be sending me the new one, all the LCS gear, so they've been really great with doing that. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next time.